The principal's voice was too calm. "Your daughter accused 4 of our teachers of assault," he said. "We're expelling her for lying." I was 2,700 miles away, standing on a steel deck slick with ocean mist, preparing trainees for a night jump. The wind was a knife. My heartbeat wasn't, but his voice, it cut deeper. "She refuses to take it back," he added. Of course she did. My daughter never lied to escape consequences. She only lied to spare others. So why now? Something tightened in my jaw, a familiar tightening, the kind that came before men ran into gunfire because I told them the alternative was worse. "Send me the incident report," I said. There was a pause. "We won't be sending anything. This conversation is over." The call ended. No report, no explanation, just a door slammed shut by a man who thought authority was armor. 6 hours later, I was home. 9 minutes after that, I was kneeling beside my daughter's bed. Bruises. Old. New. Layered. A map of pain she hadn't wanted to tell me about. When she finally whispered, "They said no one would believe me," something cold settled inside my ribcage. Not anger. Not yet. Something quieter, heavier, a decision. I went to the school the next morning. A storm sat on the horizon, waiting. The air smelled like metal and unfinished business. The principal met me at the office door with a smile that didn't touch his eyes. "You can leave," he said immediately, "or I call the police." That told me everything. In my line of work, people reveal themselves by what they fear. He feared time. He feared conversation. He feared me looking around. "I want to understand what happened," I said. "You won't," he snapped, "because your daughter made it up." I watched him. Not his words, his posture, his breathing, the nervous tremor in his left hand. A liar's tremor. In buds, we learned to see what others tried to bury. The principal was burying something rotten. "Where's the footage?" I asked. His eyes froze. "What footage?" "There's always footage. Classrooms, hallways, entry logs, visitor records." But he'd already slipped. What footage implies awareness, existence, fear of discovery. "You're done here," he said. "Get out before this gets worse for you." A threat. A small, fragile one. I smiled. A controlled smile I'd used on insurgents who thought a wall was protection. "You have 24 hours. His face drained, as if the ground beneath him shifted. He didn't ask, 24 hours for what? People who know their sins rarely need clarification. As I walked out, teachers avoided my eyes. Students stared at the floor. A secretary swallowed hard when I passed. The school wasn't afraid of me. It was afraid of the truth. And that's when I realized the betrayal wasn't just violence. It was conspiracy. A network of adults who decided silence was safer than children. I didn't go home. I drove to a quiet parking lot behind an abandoned hardware store, turned off my phone, opened my laptop. SEAL training teaches you how to enter buildings. Life taught me how to enter systems. First, the school's public records, budgets, board minutes, security contracts. Then, the digital ghosts, cached pages, deleted links, misfiled PDFs left exposed. It didn't take long. Buried in a folder mislabeled Archive Temp, a spreadsheet, attendance logs, teacher schedules, room assignments. 4 teachers. My daughter, private tutoring sessions. All logged, all unsigned. That was the first fracture. The second came from an insurance document. A quiet payout from 2 years ago. A non-disclosure attached. Same department, same group of teachers. The third came from a police report that had been opened, then closed, then sealed. My pulse didn't rise. I had been trained for calm in proximity to darkness. I cross-referenced employee IDs with internal emails. Patterns emerged. Complaints never filed. Meetings never recorded. Students transferred without explanation. staff resignations labeled personal. Every thread I pulled revealed another, a network of complicity. Teachers, a counselor, a vice principal, and at the center, the principal, the architect. I gathered everything, organized it, time-stamped it, verified it. Then I separated the evidence into 4 envelopes. One for the State Education Board, one for Child Protective Services, one for the district superintendent, one for a journalist who'd once told me, "If you ever find something institutional and rotten, call me." I didn't need to threaten anyone. I only needed to shine a light. And darkness dreads the light more than violence. The first response arrived faster than expected. An email, 2 sentences. "We received your documents. An emergency review has begun. Within hours, the superintendent's office issued a request for access to all internal footage from the last 6 months. The principal refused. That refusal triggered an automatic audit. The audit triggered law enforcement oversight. By evening, the school's internal systems were locked pending investigation. I returned to the school. This time, no one met me at the door. The office smelled of panic. Phones rang unanswered. The secretary's eyes were red. The principal emerged from his office like a drowning man surfacing for air. "What did you do?" he whispered. I slid a printed copy of the sealed police report across the counter. He didn't touch it. He didn't need to. His face collapsed. "You don't understand," he said. "If this gets out, the district, my career—" "It's already out," I replied. He gripped the edge of the desk like he was holding on to the last solid thing in his life. "Please," he said, "spare me." I didn't speak. Sometimes silence delivers the truth better than words. He followed me outside, breath short, voice trembling. "I didn't do anything," he insisted. A lie. But not the kind meant to deceive me, the kind meant to deceive himself. "My daughter was hurt," I said. His denial cracked. Panic spilled out. "They made me cover it up. The board, the union, the district lawyers. I didn't have a choice." "There is always a choice." I stepped closer. 4 teachers, I said quietly, all with prior complaints, all ignored. He swallowed hard. "They told me if I reported it, we'd lose funding. The school would collapse. Everyone would blame me." "So you blamed children instead." He crumpled into himself, hands shaking, breath hitching as if confession were suffocation. "You're going to ruin my life." "No," I said. "You ruined it the day you chose silence." I left him in the parking lot. Not with fear, with truth. And truth is far more merciless than anything I could have done. My daughter slept beside me on the couch that night, her breathing soft, safe. She didn't know what I'd done. She didn't need to. Some things are heavy enough to carry once. The next morning, the headlines broke. Local school under investigation for systemic cover-up. Administrators suspended. Teachers detained for questioning. State intervention imminent. The principal resigned before noon. The district released a statement about deeply regrettable oversights. Parents demanded answers. Silence had finally met its reckoning. My daughter opened her eyes and saw me reading. "Is everything okay?" she asked. "Yes," I said. And for the first time since the principal's call, it was true. As she rested her head on my shoulder, a final thought settled in my mind. Quiet, sharp, final. Some conspiracies collapse under pressure. Others collapse under truth. And truth is the only weapon I ever needed.